We are tracking multiple breaking news stories this morning. Here at home, a deadly explosion of fireworks went off in Salt Lake overnight. Casey Lund has been following this all morning, and he's going to give you the very latest information. And at least 10 people have died and multiple others injured after a man drove through a crowd of people in New Orleans. This in the French Quarter. We're going to hear from witnesses who were at the scene of what police are now calling a terrorist attack. We want to get it right to Casey Lund, who is live on the scene in Salt Lake. He's been there throughout the morning. Casey, what is the latest?
Yeah. Good morning, Grace. We know that at least 20 people were seriously injured. We assume that number is much more. 2 people dead after this fireworks-related explosion. I want to give you an update. I did just get off the phone. We are trying to get as much information as we can and as quickly as we can, making sure that it's accurate, of course. I was able to speak with Dr. Jim Ireland. He's the director of Honolulu EMS, and you're going to hear from him in just a moment. One of the first people on scene with his team of paramedics, as well as other first responders, working to provide aid, life-saving measures to the folks that were injured in all of this. He was able to give me a little bit of an update because, of course, when all this happened, they had to get people to different hospitals across Oahu, hospitals that many of them were taxed already. On New Year's Eve, they're quite busy, as are first responders. He said he was able to stop by a couple of places like Queens, check in with them, make sure that they were doing okay, make sure they had everything they needed. He said Queens did have to bring a few extra people on, but they were able to sort of weather those extra patients. I want to also share with you just some of the sentiments of neighbors I've been able to speak to since we came back to the scene. Of course, we went back to the station after we initially got here and tried to get a lay of the land of what had happened. When we came back this morning, you still see people out on their sidewalks, on their porches, trying to talk to one another, comfort one another, or at least figure out what's going on. There's still a police presence here. And you can see from some of these images just what a serious situation this was and how dangerous things were last night. This all unfolded just after midnight. We were able to talk to one of the neighbors that was just across the street from that home on Keaka Drive that witnessed that massive explosion just into the early hours of the first day of 2025. Like a scene from a war movie. First responders racing to save the injured, while those who were lucky enough to escape unharmed sprinted to safety.
And I heard what seemed to be a low blast, and I turned my phone to see what's happening, and it was a low blast actually, and you see the smoke coming up, and about 10 minutes later a lot of commotion, ambulance, fire, police.
New Orleans police are working to learn more about a deadly terror attack. Thanks for being here. I'm Brennan Gurley. The death toll now rising to 15 and dozens more injured after a driver plowed into a crowd of revelers overnight on Bourbon Street. We're getting new information about the attacker. We now know he's from Beaumont and most recently lived in Houston. Authorities identifying him as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, an Army veteran who was once stationed in North Carolina. Investigators say he had an ISIS flag in the truck he rented, and they don't believe he acted alone. Now, security cameras show 3 men and a woman planting possible explosives around the French Quarter. A motive for this attack is still unknown. However, it's being investigated as an act of terrorism. CBS's Katie Weiss has been at the scene all day long, learning new information by the minute. She's joining us now to share the latest, but we do want to warn you, some viewers may find certain video graphic and disturbing.
The FBI is investigating the New Year's Day attack in New Orleans as an act of terrorism.
This is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
The FBI has identified the attacker as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas. A U.S. official confirms to CBS News he had previously served in the U.S. military.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We're aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Authorities say he plowed a truck through a crowd on the city's iconic Bourbon Street shortly after 3 a.m. local time, then got into a firefight with police and was killed.
We were in the middle of the road and managed to run off the road onto the sidewalk and into the doorway of a building for cover.
Jim Maurer was visiting from Iowa. He said after the gunfire stopped, he tried to help the victims.
People we came across were unfortunately deceased.
The FBI says an ISIS flag was located in the truck, as were weapons and other potential explosive devices.
And so Nate.
Shalom, Shalom Israel. I am the brother Yowana from the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson. First and foremost, as always, before I start, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you, brothers, pushing and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere, Akyam wa Akwath, you brothers, along with you few sisters, who are giving all diligence in these last days. Right, through the mercy and grace of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only beloved begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, coming back with another video. And I do hope it's edifying and straight to the point. And as you can see, coming into 2025, man, things are off to a very great start. The Lord started things off with a bang. Okay, there's a lot going on, and I actually want to touch on a couple of the things that, have out of the many that have happened as we've come into this so-called New Year 2025. Okay, which again, our beloved elder Apostle Tahar, I deem this year through the Spirit of the Lord, the hopeful year of our deliverance, right, and destruction and judgment of Esau. Okay, that's the time that we're in, man. We're really living in the last seconds of the last days. And as time goes on, things are going to become more intense. We're going to see more judgments, and we're going to see more death. Okay, and a matter of fact, before I even go into the precepts that I had, let's grab this real quick, because right now we are we are in the time, as Yahweh Shai mentioned, right? As in the beginning of sorrows, man. So this is 2 Ezra 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? Right, because the prophet Ezra, was given the visions of the future, of the time we're coming into in the days ahead, man, full of death. It's at the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And that's why, it says in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, to redeem the time, because the days are evil, man. Invest your time into serving the Lord. Remember thy Creator, okay, in the days of thy youth. Okay, because evil days are drawing nigh, man. Right, and as this year, the way that this year started, the way that the way that the Lord had things start off this year is really showing how the rest of the year is getting ready to look. All right, it's gonna be full of judgment. It's gonna be full of death. I mean, just like here in there's the first clip I showed in Hawaii, you had people setting off fireworks, celebrating, coming into New Year as they do every year, man. Okay, which is just nothing but folly. Okay, and it's really vain. All right, but as they set up them fireworks, you see how many there was, it resulted in now 3 people end up being dead. I got the news clip this morning, a notification. It's not just 2 dead, it's actually 3 and many more injured. Okay, and you also had this Bourbon Street attack, right? Okay, which, a man, which they deemed to be an alleged terrorist, okay, took it upon himself to drive a truck, into a crowd of people, which resulted in now 15 people dead. Okay, and, many more injured as well. I believe it was like 31, 32 people injured, okay, that pretty much suffered, from getting hit by that car. And he also opened up fire on cops, and I believe that's what also caught some of these people. Okay, it was those bullets that he shot off. But, again, this is a very fiery start, to this so-called New Year, right? And you also have this shooting right here in Queens, and this is on NBCNewYork.com. It says at least 10 shot outside Queens nightclub as multiple gunmen opened fire. Right? It says at least 10 people were shot when 3 to 4 gunmen opened fire on a group standing outside a Queens nightclub where a private event was taking place Wednesday night. The New York Police Department said in an early morning press briefing Thursday. All of the victims in the 144th Street, woo, that's spiritual, man, 144, right? It says all of the victims in the 144th Street shooting outside Amazura nightclub, 6 females, 4 males, are expected to survive, police said. Authorities are investigating if the shooting is gang-related. They say there is no nexus to terror. Okay, so you had that happen, right? And then you have this as well, the dailymail.co.uk. Vegas is rocked by hostage situation on a bus just hours after Tesla's cyber terror attack. Now, you had this Tesla truck, right, which these Tesla trucks are made by Elon Musk. He also makes the Tesla cars, okay, the self-driving cars, right? Everybody knows. But he also has these cyber trucks, but this cyber truck in particular, it was placed right in front of the Trump Tower, okay, and it was set ablaze, right? And then ultimately it exploded, which resulted, I believe, in 1 death. I don't know if it's going to say, it says crisis negotiators rushed to a scene in Las Vegas where a person had barricaded himself onto a bus. The latest threat comes hours after a cyber truck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, sparking fears of a coordinated terror attack. Okay, so this whole you pretty much hostage situation. They said there wasn't any confirmed people to be on the bus that he barricaded himself on. But yet, that had happened right after this Tesla truck explosion right in front of Trump Tower. Again, there's a lot going on, man. You can even see, right, the smoke. I'm not sure if they show the explosion. I wouldn't imagine that they would, right? But nevertheless, it says it is understood as a person barricaded themselves onto a bus. However, it was not immediately clear if there were others locked inside. The area surrounding the unfolding situation was closed to the public. It is understood the incident was first reported to police as a person wielding a knife, according to 8 News Now. Police have been praised for working overtime today, yada yada. It says working overtime today after early responding to a potential terror threat which injured 7 and killed 1. The $80,000 car made by Trump ally Elon Musk company Tesla was seen in a fiery ablaze outside the front revolving doors of the hotel, killing 1 and injuring 7 around 8:40 a.m. So again, there's a lot going on, man. Major judgment is going out. All right, and again, this just goes to show that a lot of death is getting ready to be seen throughout this year. Okay, and I want to grab this in the book of Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. You see, because you still got people, right, that are still subscribed to these other religions and Christianity. Okay, and hearing the whole prosperity doctrine, they're still deceived by it, man. No prosperity is coming. Okay, Lord willing, if we're of the elect, there is a time coming in which the Lord is going to send, blessings and abundance, and great, acts of mercy, right? But the Lord's not doing that for everybody, man. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse. Matter of fact, let me start up a little bit. I think I went to 8. Slack, I don't know how I got to 8. How did I go back? Bear with me, Slack. I'm not sure what happened. This is Ezekiel chapter 7. And let me go down. It says, verse 5, it says, and this is the GNT. It says, this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh is saying. One disaster after another is coming on you. Now, this ultimately, was applied to Israel. Why? But this also, applies to America, man, because that's really what's coming is disasters. Okay, more plagues, more famine, more death. And I want to get that real quick in 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Yeah, because these people are living sinful lives out here, man. Okay, continuing to, eat abominable foods and commit abominable acts, and the Lord sees it all. That's why the Lord is sending more plagues, more death, more destruction. Okay, because, hey, Hey, that's why the scriptures say the wages of sin is death. And so we highly encourage, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to ultimately, repent and turn back to the Lord. So iniquity isn't what gets you destroyed, man. Which iniquity is sin upon sin, something the Lord hates, right? This is Ezekiel 7 and verse 5 again in the GNT. This is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh is saying. One disaster after another is coming on you. It's all over. This is the end. You are finished. It says, the end is coming for you people who live in the land. The time is near when there will be no more celebrations at the mountain shrines, only confusion. And people are still celebrating these holidays, man. People are still celebrating coming into a new year. Okay, just as they got done just celebrating Christmas, another pagan holiday. Right before that, it was Thanksgiving, another pagan tradition, okay, of the heathen. Right, so the time is near, man. But there won't be no more celebrations. Even the Lord said this in Jeremiah chapter 16. And let me go down. Jeremiah chapter 16. And verse 9 says, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. See that the Lord's getting ready to cause to come to an end the mirth and the celebration and the gladness. And we do have our moments, when we get with bros, or what I'm saying, we have certain moments where we rejoice, but at the end of the day, these people are rejoicing, within folly. As the scriptures say, it is as a sport for a fool to do mischief, man. These people are up to no good. Out here at these nightclubs, women going out, leaving their husbands out home, committing adultery at the nightclub, and then coming back, to their husband all used up, man. Okay, men going out there and sleeping with other men's wives, right? You just have all types of wickedness. People are worshiping idols out here still to this day, but they're doing these things and it's like they're not even ashamed. Okay, people are doing a whole lot of evil, but they're not even ashamed of it, man. That's why it says this in Jeremiah. Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 4. And let me go down. All right, bear with me. I believe it's a little further down. It says, were they ashamed at their abomination? All right, I believe it's in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 8 and 12. I was all a little off. This is Jeremiah 8 and 12. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nay, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. You see, and I believe even in Wisdom of Solomon, going into those idols, there's a precept where it says that they weren't ashamed, to call upon that, which is more rotten than himself, roughly paraphrasing, man. Okay, these people are not ashamed to call upon idols. They're not ashamed, to go and commit wickedness, because in their mind, they don't believe that they're wrong. Okay, because they don't really have the understanding of the scriptures. It says, nay, they were not ashamed. They were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. Therefore shall they fall among them that fall. In the time of their visitation, they shall be cast down, saith Yahweh. Okay, and the Lord is visiting this earth right now, man, clearly. You see? So, hey, just because, you people, since you people weren't ashamed at what you were doing, well, you're getting ready to fall here soon, man. And in mass numbers. As it says in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, a great number of people shall be taken. All right, got to get that real quick too. This is bear with me. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great numbers. See, that great death is getting ready to come, man. A great number, the Lord's getting ready to take spirits back to the heavens. Okay, it's going to be 100, it's going to be 200, 300 there. We just have to see, and just with all these different, terrorists, so-called terrorist attacks, because Esau could be behind the scenes too, setting things up, smoke and mirrors, right? But at the end of the day, hey, we're getting ready to see a lot more things happen. Okay, which really I want to finish this and go back to that Ezekiel. It says, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Yeah, the way of truth is about ready to get hidden, man. The famine of the word is about to set in. Okay, and the people in this land are going to be completely overwhelmed with fear, right, anxiety and confusion. Right, so let me go down. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 25, it says, despair is coming. You will look for peace and never find it. I want to get that word despair, right? Because again, right now we're in the beginning of sorrow. So this is just the start, of, to a more sinister time in the future, right? Despair, the complete loss or absence of hope, hopelessness. And that's going to be these people, man. Gloom, misery, discouragement. As it says in 2 Ezra 2:27, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and weep and be sorrowful, man. But ye shall be merry and have abundance. You see that? The ones that are going to weep and be sorrowful in the days ahead are going to be those that haven't been taking heed unto this word, man, who've been putting the Lord off from day to day, disregarding his prophets, disregarding wisdom and nurture. Okay, those are the ones that these judgments are going to overcome. Okay, because really these judgments are not for the righteous, they are for the wicked. Right? That's why I'm gonna get this real fast. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 28. I'm starting at verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? There's spirits that are out here, right? Angels that are sent in left-hand angels as well that are sent to go and do the will of the Lord, man. Right? To bring forth, death upon somebody, or to orchestrate a situation that involves a multitude of people being put to death. Okay? It says fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction, man. You see, all these are just a few out of the very infinite ways that the Lord is going to send judgment in the days ahead, man. Teeth of wild beasts, okay, scorpions and serpents, right? Hail, fire, famine and death. You even had that man recently that died in that house fire. He had went in there to save all of his family and he brought them all out, but he ended up losing his life. Now an average person would be like, oh, well, he was such a good dude and a lot of people had some good stuff to say about it, but the thing is with the Lord, the scriptures say in Job, the 4th chapter, who hath ever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, man? So, he wasn't innocent, man. He was either judged for something he was doing in this life, or it's something he did in his past life, man. But that fire came upon him, and the Lord put him to death. That's the judgment, man. Okay? So, let's go back, right, to Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 25. Again, it says, despair is coming. You will look for peace and never find it. And that's what it says in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, concerning Jacob's trouble, man. Right? What did he say he heard? Weeping, right? I got to get that since I quoted it. It's in Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 5. I started verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, right? The northern and the southern tribes, the two kingdoms of Israel. It says, for thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. There ain't going to be no peace in Jacob's trouble, man. The only ones that are going to have peace are those that have their minds stayed on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. And that's pursuant to Isaiah the 26th chapter, man. He'll keep that man in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Okay, so in order for us to have, a stability in our mind, we have to be connected to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, having that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. That's really what's been keeping us stable now, because you see the whole world is flipping out and losing their mind over what's going on, man. Seeing the different prophetic events take place. These people are scared, but they see they don't know what to do, right? It says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Because even the average man in the days to come, isn't going to be able to stand the rain. They're not going to be able to stand the winds and the floods when they start to come in and beat upon that house. They're going to fall because these people have built their house upon the sand, right? Whereas we of the household of faith have built our house on a rock, which is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when the hail starts to intensify and hell breaks loose, we're going to be solid, man. Lord willing. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that's the time that's right around the corner, really. Matter of fact, it's up the street, man. Okay, lawlessness, race wars, riots. Even a brother, in the chat was saying how he had the 31st, man, he had got pulled over by a cop, man, just before New Year's. And this cop was on 10, man. One of them, real racist, nigger beating Edomites All right, just looking for a smallest reason to, to exercise his wickedness. All right, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, nothing escalated. That brother applied wisdom, as the scriptures say, agree with thine adversary quickly, so so he doesn't deliver you up to the judge. And that scripture Yahweh Shai mentioned in Matthew. But nevertheless, things are intensifying, man, and things are heating up. Okay, which shows you that we're getting close. Just like when you play like that game Hot or Cold, right? For those of you who played, it's an old game, and I think I haven't played it in so long. I think it was like, somebody would put something down and you would be blindfolded, or they would hide, and the closer that you get to them, they say warmer, and the further away you get, they say colder. Well, just as you get closer to that individual in that game and they say warmer, 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 you're hot, and then they catch you. Well, that's what's getting ready to happen here, man. You see, things are heating up because we're getting closer and closer to the great tribulation written of in the scriptures. Right? It says Ezekiel 7:26. One disaster will follow another, and a steady stream of bad news will pour in. That's what we're getting ready to see. Okay, so expect more pestilences, more diseases, right? More so-called terrorist attacks. Okay, more judgment being sent forth. It's going to be a steady, consistent stream of bad news, because right now we're in a time of the birth pains, man. You see, so don't be surprised, with what you see in the news and everything that starts to go on, because the Lord is turning things up. We're at the end of the world, man. We're at the end of the last days. Okay, so these are things that we are to expect, right? And be careful moving around out here, man. Right, because I also have this clip, and I might as well play it just to show, right, that these people are in a very aggressive and unstable manner. Slack, if I have it, I'll just have to clip it in at the end, right? So bear with me. I'll just have to clip it in at the end. But yeah, let me go here to the book of Ephesians, right? This is Ephesians. Here we go. Can't find it. Chapter 5, and let's go down to verse 14. And it reads, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. And this is what we're telling our people. Okay, you Israelites, right, to awake, and to put on thy glorious garments, which is this knowledge. Okay, come out of that dead state, right? Come out of wanting to follow after your oppressor and do the things of this world, man, which lead to death, right, honey? And Yahweh Shai will give you light. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Okay, that word circum, meaning around, it specly means to look. So looking around, paying attention to your environment, to your surroundings, especially now. Okay, because ain't no telling, you could very well be in the middle of a situation, but hey, the Lord will deliver you out of it. Okay, but that's why it says be vigilant. Okay, be alert, be sober, be ready. It says redeeming the time, because the days are evil, right? These days are full of evil, man. And like I said, I'm gonna try to splice that if I have it on my thing, which I should. I'm gonna splice together. Matter of fact, let me try to find it, because I'm pretty sure that I spliced it. Here we go. I did. Listen, and just listen to this. Again, the days are evil, man. Right? And see, as Yahweh Shai, matter of fact, before I play this video, wax cold. I believe it's Matthew 24. There we go. Let's go there. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. It reads, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And the love of many is waxing cold, man. All right, parents, beating their little children to death and stuffing them in ovens, and people killing their grandma and their parents, people killing entire families, including the dog. I mean, we're seeing that happen right now, man. And I want to get this word cold, and you get the Greek word psycho, okay, which I want to get that word psycho as well. Right, and this is the Google definition. It says an unstable and aggressive person exhibiting unstable and aggressive behavior. And this is what we're gonna see. This is the spirit that we're gonna see on these people, man, as time goes on. A more unstable and aggressive spirit. Okay, because again, iniquity abounds, right, which is causing the love of many to wax cold. So let's listen to this. And I do not own rights to this video. This is just for educational and fair use purposes. Again, I do not own copyright, to this video. And this is actually, I believe, the brother GMS Debar Kabash, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, let's get into the video. And this is off his page, so Salakia.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
This is not me in that car,
I can't.
Actually, it was on Arya Kayal Ba, as you see at the top of the left screen. So Salakia, that's a correction.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
This is not me in that car,
I can't believe it.
I'm got it.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a time to not really know what to do, so.
What happened? At random too. Why? I don't get it.
I don't have any answer. How old is Brian?
He's 19.
He's 19.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Cooperate. I am gonna cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Like, for real human head and hands?
Yes.
From?
That fellow who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
Warren Brown.
Warren Brown? When did he go missing?
The night of the 27th.
The night of the 27th? Okay, and how did you end up with him?
I murdered him.
With what?
A knife.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
You see, when asked why he did that, his only response was, I just wanted to see what murder felt like. Okay, so you got to be careful of these people, man. And be careful who you surround yourself with. Hey, be very careful, man, and move with very wisely in these days. Okay, because if you don't, it just might be your ass. For lack of better words. That's all I really had. Through the Spirit. I'll finish off. I'll read this Ephesians one more time, and then we'll close it out from there, right? This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16. It reads, redeeming the time because the days are evil. That's right, man. The days are very full of evil, right? And really more evils are prepared, and we're getting ready to see them come, right? In major ways, man. Major loss of life and death and judgment is really on the horizon. So, stay prayed up, man, fast, more, because those are the things that, we need to do, to be solidified, in the scriptures as well. Study, linking up with, brothers the Lord allotted you to be around, having that fellowship, man, and continuing to grow. Okay, because, hey, we're about to see some shit that we've never seen before. So, hey, Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai be with you. Pray for me as well as I pray for you, Baba Kusha, and, as always, before I end off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Till next time, Lord's will, I say shalom, stay strong, and keep the faith no matter what. Shalom.